Thank you for stopping by Healing Conversations with Z. I'm Zuri BB, and we're going to talk today for a minute. This is the took a bath and I'm relaxing. It's been so much going on, and mentally I needed to back away. Balance is the key for me because I'll take it on. I'm a Saggy, so me being a Saggy, I like to do a lot, but I'll get burnt out. And I don't want to be burnt out. Um, I've been, I don't know, I've been doing a lot of work, so now I'm dreaming again. And last night I had a dream that I was looking out this window, and it looked like one of my cards in my sacred geometry deck. And it's the picture that I saw was it was like this pink and white wall because I know, but then it had this opening like you could see out the window, and as I looked out the window I could see these words written out in the galaxy. It might have been like in stars or something like that, but they weren't very clear to me. It was like three or four words were written out there, but I couldn't read them. I didn't understand what they were, and it was kind of weird. That was one dream. So there's something that I'm not getting. I'm not quite getting yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not getting it. And what I think it has to do with is boundaries, because lately in my own personal readings, I've been getting boundaries, that word. And I think for me, I'm trying to get to the root of it. When I do my inner work, I remember as a little girl, as a baby, like 2, 3, I remember being locked up in my room with my sister. I talked about this before on my channel. Whereas I was the type of kid, you hear about kids that would be out in the middle of the night walking on the street. That would have been me. Because I would get up and I would, in the middle of the night, and I would do stuff in the middle of the night. So they finally, my parents, well, I don't know if it was my father or my mother or they both agreed on it, but they made my sister come in my bedroom and she locked the latch on. They put a lock on my door and she would lock it. I remember that. But the funny thing about my bedroom, which they didn't even think about, was I had the bedroom. We lived in a colonial style house, whereas, you go up the stairs, the bedroom, bathroom, and then two other bedrooms right next to each other. And I had the bedroom. My sister had the bedroom with two windows, which ended up being mine much later when I got older, when my brother came and she moved out. But the room that I had a window, but it had a door. And but they didn't think that door could be open. I opened it several times, much later, not as a little kid, because I would have jumped off and probably broke my neck. Because it had like a little porch into the backyard. They didn't know you could open that door, but I did open it a few times. But going back to this boundaries, I always felt like I was being held down as a kid, and I'm trying to understand why. Were they doing this because they didn't want me to be hurt, injured, kidnapped? And then after my father died, because he died when I was 9, after he died, my mother just kept a tight rein on me. It was just, couldn't do much. If it was to I had to go down to my cousin's house too, and they lived 3 doors down. It was just a lot of control going on, a lot of boundaries. And I broke them boundaries as many times as I could, and I got beat for them. But I was happy. I got to do what I wanted to do, but I paid the price for it. Now, how is this affecting me as an adult? Because the boundaries were put on me, I didn't take a lot of risk, or the risks that I took were not good ones, because there was no balance in what was a good risk and what was a bad risk. And so I 17, I had my son. Turned 18 8 days later. That wasn't necessarily a bad thing, but in the black community, I was done as far as all that stuff. Um, as far as being marriage material, but I didn't even want to be married. Maybe this is where this is coming from, because they used to push that you want to be married, you want to be married, you want to be married with somebody that has this, that, blah, blah, blah. I wasn't interested in none of that. Okay. Because what I was seeing was the people that were married, they was getting cheated on, beaten, and all kind of foolishness. I was like, that's not for me. But something about this boundary stunted me some kind of way. Um, and in the beginning, well, throughout the when I met my DM in 2012. People that know that number know that that's, the end of the world thing. But it was a lot of boundaries being broken, and a lot of accusations. Not, I don't know, did I actually cuss him out? I cussed him out one time, but that's a personal conversation that I won't talk about. I mean, and it wasn't face to face, because I was so triggered, so angry. I might have hit him that day. That's how bad it was. He's paid for it, and he made up, and we're good for that. But he triggered me a lot, and I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why these triggers, and it had something to do with boundaries. And then when I began to understand it, I became, in my mind, with the other people, the third party situations, you don't know how to create boundaries, or you let them break boundaries. And then now that I'm looking at the program, I'm like, well, where in my life was I not creating a boundary? I'm reviewing those things, and it's pretty interesting. Whereas um, I'm almost there. I'm almost there where I can root it out. This boundary thing, but it keeps coming up. I don't know. I'm gonna have to pull some cards, and I don't think I have the right deck here to do it. I might have to bring out that hoodoo deck. I know it'll tell me, but um, I need to actually go within and see if I can get more information. Because when I do go within, I see images of me as a child being locked in the room. And I see me climbing up on the dresser, getting out. I'm breaking the boundary. That's what I remember. But maybe that could be it, and maybe I'm just not fully understanding it, and maybe that's why that dream came and is saying you're almost there but not quite. I don't know. Maybe it's because, during my life, other people have broken boundaries with me. I have been molested, um, tampered with, as I say. I've been in situations where I've seen a lot of stuff that I shouldn't have seen. So, I don't know. Maybe I've gone back to those situations, and I don't know. Because, like, right now, even while I'm talking, I feel it. I feel the whatever it is. And it's some type of devil energy. But it's funny because in my dream last night, I saw sunflowers, like the ones in the deck that I do have. And not just one sunflower, I saw several. It was like, it probably was that card, but it was a lot of them. It was a lot of them, and they were just a lot. It was a lot. So maybe this sunflower is helping me deal with whatever this is, and deal with these other things, because I've brought up a lot of other stuff during this conversation. But the inner work is interesting. I'm coming to terms of the boundaries that have been set and that have been broken, and I'm also looking at the boundaries that I set with DM, or the boundaries that DM is, you know, or my perception, because I need to say it. I need to say it's probably my perception of these boundaries. How do I perceive these things? Do I see them in negative or positive? A lot of them, I was looking at them as a negative because whatever was going on was against me. Was it against me? Probably not, but in my mind, the ego was going rampant with this. So, maybe that's what, maybe with me bringing it out, with me talking about this, will help me clear it. Because another thing popped up in this flower deck that I have. I can't remember the flower, but the meaning says, um, I need to talk about my heartache, my heartbreak. I normally don't like talking about that kind of stuff. As a Saggy, I like to talk about the fun stuff. The the sad stuff, kind of depressing. Or, well, yeah, kind of depressing and sad. So, interesting. Somebody that I haven't, that I considered my very best friend, and I think I talked about her early on in my channel. And if I didn't, I know I wrote about her. She just sent me a text asking me if I'm okay. I haven't spoken to her in years, long time. So that's interesting. Um, I'll get back with her. Like I say, I create boundaries when I see things that are not for my highest good. I create them. So maybe this boundary that I supposedly thought DM was creating as a negative is a positive. Maybe these things that he's been doing over there that I have in my head that's over there, even though I'm over here with him. Maybe these boundaries are created as a protection. Like I said, that maybe my parents were creating the boundaries, locking me up in the room, which in this day and age they would have went to jail for that, locking me up in the room. Who knows? Maybe that's why my mind, you know, that kind of stuff kind of messes with you, and maybe that's what I'm trying to filter out. All the deep levels of control, and not being able to spread my wings and kind of do things until I was much older. 1313. I gotta look that up because that number keeps following me. But yeah, there's something here. Plus, I put some medicine on it now, but my right side, somebody said the right side was the boundary side. I've been having a lot of issues with my right side. I need to see a chiropractor. My arm is not the way it's supposed to be right now. It's out of place. I don't need a cast or anything, but yeah, my level of movement is not the way it should be. When they let us free, I'm going to go find a chiropractor. I can't do that. Well, that's it. I'm going to end this. I am going to do some readings today, and it probably will be 3 because I noticed that my readings are real long. And I don't want them to be real long because I get tired from that too. So, we'll see. I'm hoping that this message helps someone in any way, shape, and form. I'm thankful that no devilish energy has come in to try to invade it because I didn't ask for protection. But I know that I'm protected already. Oh, got the hiccups, excuse me. All right. Until later, peace. Thank you for stopping by. Healing Conversations with Z.